To solve a system, you're looking for an x and a y value that works in both of your equations. So one way to do that is to solve it by graphing them and looking at where they intersect. So the first thing you have to do is take each of your equations and graph them. So for the first one, it's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b form. And if it's already in that form, then you can very easily graph it. Remember, you start with a y-intercept. So I'm going to go on my y-axis to 4 and put a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to graph the slope. So the slope here is a -1, and it would be over a 1. So that means I have to go, that's my rise part, my up and down part, so I have to go down 1 and then right 1 from that dot. So down 1 and right 1, and then that's kind of like the pattern of your line. So you're going to keep graphing that. And for these problems, you definitely want to go to the edge of your graph because they may intersect or cross each other kind of further on your graph. Okay, so you want to be able to see where these two lines cross. So once you get your dots, you can just connect them. And again, you can use a ruler if you need to, so you can have a nice straight line. But if you have your dots, it actually makes it a little easier. Okay, so there's that line. So this is the y equals -x plus 4 line. Okay, so now the other one you'll notice is not in slope-intercept form. So you have an option. You could put it in slope-intercept form, in other words, solve for y and then graph it just like I did the other one. Or remember, if it's in a different form, you could start by finding the x and y intercepts and then graph those and then kind of follow that pattern. So I'm going to actually review that with you. So if I was finding the x and y intercepts, to find the x-intercept, remember you plug a 0 in for y, so that kind of makes the y part go away, and so you're left with 2x equals 2. So 2x equals 2. If I just solve for x, I have to divide by 2, so x would equal 1. So my x-intercept is 1. And now I just have to find the y-intercept. So that means I've got to get rid of my x for a second, so you're just going to cover up your x part. And so I'm left with -y equals 2. And the reason I cover it up is because what I'm really doing is plugging in 0 for x, so make sure you remember that. Okay, and so from there, this is like a -1 times y, so I'm going to divide by -1 on both sides. So then my negative and my -1 will go away, and y would equal -2. So my y-intercept is -2. Okay, so now once I have those, I'm going to put them on the same graph as the other one. So I know it crosses the x-axis at 1, so it crosses right there, and then it's going to cross my y-axis at -2. Okay, so that's 2 points. Really, that's really all you need to make your line, but because you're trying to be very specific and see where they intersect, I'm going to find the slope, the pattern of my line, and I'm going to keep it going. So like to go from here to here, I have to go up 2 and right 1. So I'm going to keep doing that. So up 2 and right 1, up 2 and right 1. And that way I can get a good picture for what this line looks like. And then if you needed to go the other way, which I don't actually need to because I kind of already see where they intersect, then you just, if you need to go the other way, you just reverse what you did. Okay, so let's draw my line there, connect my dots. And so to get the solution by graphing them, like I just said, you graph them on the same graph and then you just look at where they cross, because that point, that where they cross, is going to be a point that works in both equations. So, well, this is where they cross. What is the coordinate of that point? Well, it would be 2, 2. So this coordinate right here, when the x is 2 and the y is 2, that will work in both of these equations. And so to check it, you could take the x value and the y value and plug it in and see if it actually works. So like if I take the x value of 2 and I plug it in here, it'd be -2 plus 4. So -2 plus 4. Well, it has to equal 2 to work out, and it does. So it works in that one. And then I can plug it in the other one to make sure. So it would be 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then I'd subtract the y value, which is 2. So 4 minus 2, I get 2. And so it works in both equations. So that's how you know for sure that this would be the solution to that system of equations.